So hey guys, what's up? Today I'm gonna give you an analysis on Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero and Marvel's Iceman. So let's begin. Firstly, let us discuss on Iceman. Iceman first appeared in the X-Men issue number 1. He is a mutant born with superhuman abilities. So now let's discuss his powers and abilities in detail. Firstly, thermokinesis. He has the ability to lower his external and internal body temperature. He can immediately alter his temperature from a regular human level down to absolute zero. He has such strong powers to generate cold that he was able to stop a massive nuclear explosion. Nextly, thermal vision. The ability to see beings due to the heat signature that others give off because of the absence of heat around him. Next is cryokinesis. Iceman can generate, manipulate, and fully control ice, snow, and cold temperatures. He can use his mutant ability to control moisture, such as to freeze any air moisture into super hard ice, much like Green Lantern with his ring. He can shape and form the ice into anything that he can imagine and is restricted only by his imagination, and of course the ambient air temperature, which can affect how long his ice constructs can stay formed. He can also construct objects so hard and tough that they have been known to contain those, such as the Hulk, for quite some time. He can also create local weather effects such as snow and blizzard. His powers have often fluctuated wildly, like many comic book characters, and are largely influenced by the writer, but he has been shown to fly without the aid of an ice construct by using his control over moisture. Next is organic ice form. This ability is used by him to not only cover his body with ice, but to actually become organic ice. Though the appearance is similar, Iceman is now actually translucent in his ice form. Iceman is virtually indestructible in this form, allowing him to reform his body should it become shattered. He has been incinerated while in human form and was able to rebuild himself. In his ice form, he is able to use the moisture in the air to form spikes, shields, and attach other extra appendages to his body. It is currently unknown if this power is considered to be immortal. Next is hydrokinesis. He can manipulate water at a molecular level. He uses this to travel rapidly across bodies of water, and he can also augment himself to gigantic proportions. Next is molecular moisture inversion. This ability is used by him to freeze water molecules, turning them into solid ice. Another one is molecular moisture conversion. The ability to transform organic matter such as a human body to organic ice and back again. With this, it is possible for him to project his consciousness through moisture molecules and reform his body at the destination. Though he has only done this to himself, he does possess the potential, as demonstrated by his AOA counterpart, to perform the feat with passengers. Next is ice clone generation. This ability is to generate ice clones of himself. It is unknown how many ice clones he can create at once. Next is cryokinetic perception. After he managed to freeze the earth in ice and snow, Iceman gained the ability to spread his consciousness through the icy matter and perceive all events occurring within it, likening it to the perception of a god. Next is strength. Despite all of his impressive abilities in terms of strength at the base level, it is nothing more than a well-trained human athlete, and he also suffers fatigue and mental exhaustion. Similarly, he normally tries after approximately 5 hours of exertion. Fighting ability. In terms of fighting style, he is a well-trained combatant, being trained in the X-Men house in the Danger Room, and has been in many world-saving events. Also, Bobby can reduce the temperature of any object all the way to even absolute zero. which is the point at which the fundamental particles of nature have minimal vibrational motion, retaining only quantum mechanical zero-point energy-induced particle motion. While he usually does not use his powers in lethal ways, his powers are so vast that they extend to the molecular level to the point that he can freeze all of the molecules of an object being with a thought. He once froze every single molecule of water within the body of David Heller in Iceman Volume 2, issue number 41. He can survive not only as ice but as liquid, water and water vapor. He can also transform his body from a gaseous state back to a solid, although it is physically and mentally taxing. And it is shown in Iceman Volume 2, issue number 190 and Iceman Volume 2, issue number 193. And also, because cold is the absence of heat, Iceman does not actually emanate cold. Rather, he decreases thermal energy as mentioned by writer Mike Carey. And Iceman is an omega level mutant and has powers that can influence the ecosystem of the entire world. So the ability to affect the entire world with his powers makes him an omega level mutant. And also he has some other special powers like omnipresence and teleportation. He has full control over his molecules and can manipulate it into different states, as well as regenerate and reform himself back into ice. Since he remains conscious even after merging himself into larger masses of water / ice / snow / vapor, and can teleport within that mass, and can also create and control sentient ice clones of himself. He can make ice clones of himself innumerable times. And also, one of his main weaknesses is that, like that of trained athlete, Iceman's ability to perform is directly related to his daily physical health and current mental state. Under normal conditions, he can usually form ice continually for a period of about 5 hours before becoming mentally exhausted. And also, let us discuss the scenarios where he used his powers. Number 1. Iceman took part in a battle against celestial creations during which he was infected with the death speed of Apocalypse's power. He lost control of his mind and almost froze the whole planet, also kidnapping his ex-girlfriends and nearly killing his father. Number 2. Iceman was responsible for creating drinkable water on the island sanctuary Utopia. Number 3. Bobby teamed up with the Thing and Giant Men to defeat the Circus of Crime and save Alicia Masters. Number 4. Bobby teamed up, means Iceman, with the Human Torch to defeat the modern-day pirate Captain Barracuda. And number 5. Alongside the X-Men, he battled many foes, including Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And also, Iceman also possesses the ability to quickly move over great distances because of his transportation power. And also, previously Iceman was able to transform his body into solid ice and back to human form at will. But after M-Day, Iceman appeared to have lost his powers, returning to human form. However, this was revealed by Emma Frost as a mental block, and Iceman later regained his powers along with the ability to change from human to ice form. So Iceman is really very powerful, and he is an omega level mutant. So here I have discussed all his powers and abilities of Iceman. So now let's move on to Sub-Zero and his powers and abilities in detail. So now let us discuss on Sub-Zero himself, Bihan. His powers and abilities are freeze. As mentioned above, he has the ability to freeze his opponents via as ice ball projectile. This essentially can then shatter them, killing them instantly. Next is lean, quick slide and ground freeze. He has the abilities to slide across self-generated ice on the floor and to create that slippery surface in front of his opponents, causing them to slip. Next is ice clone. He can create a clone status of himself which causes any who touches it to freeze. Again, this could potentially be shattered, killing them instantly. Next is polar blast. He has the ability to utilize the moisture in the surrounding air and use it to increase the destructive force of his ice blast. Next, Strength. He has the strength of an extremely well-trained martial artist with similar endurance, possible enhancement by his abilities to control ice. However, this is not known that at how much level he can extend his strength level. Next is fighting ability. He is extremely well-trained assassin by the Lin Kui clan. And also one of his most powerful form is the cyborg form. And in this cyborg form, before his transformation to cyborg, he as Sub-Zero possessed incredible control over the element of ice. He could easily deep freeze opponents to the point of them becoming brittle enough to shatter into pieces. By a single touch, he was even able to flash freeze opponents and had the ability to freeze the entire air itself by concentrating all of his ice power into one destructive blast. Now let us discuss on the cyber sub form. This is the true form that Kuei Liang took when he was transformed into a cyborg. He still has most of his attacks, but he also has new ice-based weaponry. Let us discuss one by one. First is enhanced durability. Due to being a cyborg in this form, Sub-Zero's skin is replaced with a durable metal that is more resistant to impacts. Next is ice grenade. Cyber Sub-Zero has an infinite number of bombs located inside his chest that he can fire at varying distances. Upon explosion, anyone inside the blast radius is frozen solid. Now let us discuss his strengths. Point number 1. He has the strength to rip someone's spine out and rip someone in half with one arm. Point number 2. Can easily smash bones with his bare hands. Next is can destroy large ice buildings with one hand. Next one is he's been stated to be stronger than his older one. Next point is he can make ice weapons strong enough to destroy Lin Kui cyborgs. Another point is his ice blasts can counter the aforementioned flamethrower. Next is he can break through the steel doors of a fallout shelter, slide under a missile and take out a Lin Kui cyborg. Next point is as cyborg Sub-Zero he defeated Kano in a single attack. Also physically shattered a large temple with a punch and broke titanium with one chop. Next, let's discuss his speed. He is capable enough to overwhelm the likes of Scorpion and Sector. He is fast enough to react to missiles fired by Lin Kui cyborgs. Durability. He took an attack from Sector's flamethrower, which is a temperature of 3000 degrees Fahrenheit. Next point is used as an ice shield to survive Cyrex's self-destruction, which destroyed the cyber Lin Kui's base. He also survived being impaled through the stomach by Scorpion multiple times in the same fight, and right after that endured getting burned by his hellfire. Also survived getting thrown out of a helicopter by Kenshi. Tanked a laser blast from Kano and also survived double impalement. Next time let us discuss his skill. He can control the Lin Kui Dragon Medallion, a medallion that enhances the wielder's power, but only if they have the strength to use it. If they are not strong enough to wield, they are completely frozen. He has also defeated Sector, Cyrex, Ermac twice, Reptile, Scorpion, Goro, Kintaro and Batman. Next point is he defeated Noob Saibot, the more powerful reincarnation of his brother Bihan. Also he took out Cassie Gage, Kung Jin, Chekui Briggs and Takeda Takahashi consecutively. Also with his army he stopped Kotal Khan's invasion force, which included Farah and Thor, Ermac, Reptile and Aaron Black. Also he became the Grandmaster of the Lin Kui in both timelines by defeating Sector. In the second timeline he managed to kill him by cutting off his arms and ripping off his head. He also killed a group of Tarkatan warriors in the living forest by himself. He also has a mastery of ice, which allowed him to harness the Dragon Medallion's true power and increase his proficiency further. He also partially froze the city of Kahishari and killed all of his inhabitants. And also in the Battle of Armageddon, he managed to kill Scorpion in a sword fight. He also put an end to the war between the Lin Kuei and Scorpion's Shirai Rui clan. He also defeated Pharah and Thor, who can make earthquakes felt across the Emperor's courtyard just by walking. And as Cyber Sub-Zero, he was able to sense the Lin Kuei surrounded them while they were completely invisible. And he also created a city block sized ice blast. Now let us discuss his weakness. Firstly, his main weakness is mortality. He may have incredible powers, but he is still just a mortal man and can be killed by any means. And also next is clouded judgment. His emotional baggage and desire to live up to his brother's name has clouded his judgment more than once. So here basically I have discussed all the two characters and also Sub-Zero's most true form, that is a Cyber Sub-Zero form, or you can say the most OP version, the alternate version. So after all this analysis, finally we all can come to a conclusion that even though both are powerful, but Iceman is just way more powerful than Sub-Zero. He is an Omega level mutant, and also he has the power to influence an entire ecosystem and also the planet. So the winner is obviously Iceman. Though both are favorite characters, and Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero is one of the favorite characters of all the gamers and also all the pop culture fans in the whole world. And also, if we discuss on the hand-to-hand combat skills, I would rate in hand-to-hand combat skill mode, means in the techniques and the ninja fight, Sub-Zero is really very well trained assassin as compared to Iceman. Though Iceman has also many combated powers, and he is a very skillful combat fighter because he has trained with X-Men characters. But still, the feats which Sub-Zero in his hand-to-hand combat mode is shown is really truly awesome. But the winner is obviously Iceman. So thank you all for watching my analysis video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and please do like, share and subscribe. And lastly, have a nice day and peace.